Hello my students, today we will complete our lesson 1 from unit 11 about islands. So let's start. As we know that island is a land that's surrounded from all directions with water. Today we will know how islands form. But before we know how islands form, we need to know what is the Earth's crust. The Earth's crust is the upper layer of the Earth. The Earth from outside, or the crust of the Earth, is broken down to pieces, and these pieces are called plates. The Earth's plates are always moving. Sometimes two plates come together, like when you try to push your two hands together. Sometimes they go up and make mountains, and sometimes one plate goes or sinks under another plate, and in this case magma goes out, and sometimes this can cause volcanoes. So the volcanoes that can grow in height until they poke through into the open air, volcanoes underwater, when they poke or they go out to the surface of the water, sometimes magma goes out and cool down and form new land or island. So the volcanoes can grow in height until they poke through into the open air, and when this happens, volcanic islands are born. So the first kind of islands that we spoke about is volcanic islands. And these volcanic islands stop growing bigger when the volcano becomes inactive. Once the volcano becomes inactive, no more magma comes out, and that's why the island will not grow bigger anymore. And in this case, after years, the island shrinks or start to sink down underwater and gets smaller and smaller and sometimes disappear. The corals form around the island, the coral reefs where the fish lives. They start to grow around the island, and they keep growing until it completely encircles an island. The reef itself can come out from the water, forming land that surround a lagoon of shallow water, and we will see this in the next slide. And then the volcanic island sink down to disappear and leaves a ring of corals around the lagoon. The ring-shaped coral island, this island called atoll, and we will see here is the corals in the previous slide. So the corals form around the volcanic island, and when the corals form around the volcanic island, by the time the island itself sinks down, like here, do you see the ring? This ring is made of corals. So the ring shape of coral island, and the middle part, which is the island, sink down, and only the coral ring stays, and this ring called atoll, or the ring shape of coral island. Okay, and in the middle we have the lagoon. This is like Bora Bora Island. This is atoll. After years, even the corals sink down, and all the island becomes underwater, and this will form something called geo, like here. So first the volcano reaches the surface of the water, and then it makes the island, and then the island start to sink down, and the corals in circles or form around the island, and then the island itself sink and leaves only the corals ring. This is called atoll, and then even the atoll sinks down, and at the end we have the island, the whole island under the water surface, and this is called geo. Okay, the T is silent. Okay, grade 5 is 1. In this question, page 499, we have to draw what happened to this island. Draw what this island might look like at 2 points in the future. Explain the process that your drawings show. So here we have the volcano reaches the surface. After 1,000 years, the volcano gets larger and the island grows larger. After this, what will happen? The island itself will sink and leaves the corals ring around it. So let's see how we will write this. So first the volcanic island grew bigger, then stopped erupting. The volcano stopped erupting, so the island will not grow anymore. A coral reef formed around it. The coral forms around the island. Then the island sank to form atoll, as we see here. Okay, so let's answer the question in page 500. We have here the diagram that shows the features of the ocean floor. As we know, the first part of the ocean floor, this part which is gradually slopes, called, yes, continental shelf. After the continental shelf, we have the part that slopes steeply, and is called continental slope. And this part, this big part called a basal plain, we will write it here, but let's solve the first C. C is a deep valley in the ocean floor. This deep valley is called, do you remember? Yes, we call it oceanic trench. Then the most of the ocean floor, the flat part of the ocean floor, we call it basal plain. Then here, the volcano that reaches the surface will make a volcanic island. Okay, so this question in the book, page 500, so please answer the question. Let's see the next question. The world ocean is made up of, do you remember we said we have 5 oceans? Let's write them here. Arctic, Atlantic, Pacific, Indian, and Southern Oceans. All ocean water is salty. The measure of which is the water salinity, the amount of salt in water, we call it salinity. At certain depths, as we go down, what becomes too great? Do you remember when we said as we go down deeper in the ocean, what becomes very high? Yes, the water pressure becomes too great for divers to withstand. Explorers must visit greater depths in. They use what to go down deeper in the ocean? Yes, submersibles. As the plates that make up the Earth's crust move, what will form? As you remember, when we said that when plates are moving, they cause volcanoes, and volcanoes will form islands, so volcanic islands may form. Over time, coral reefs grow and surround the island, and this will make what? Do you remember the ring of corals around the island? This is called atoll. Yes, forms when the island sinks and the coral is left behind. And when the coral even sink down, they form gel. Next question in the next page, page 501. The flat low-lying land area at the sea coast is the flat part near to the ocean or near to the water is called coastal plain. Yes. Underwater border of each continent. The first part of the ocean floor, if you remember, yes, continental shelf. The steep area where the ocean rapidly gets deeper is the part of the ocean that rapidly or suddenly slopes, called continental slope. The lower portion of the continental slope, the lower part at the base, the lower part of the continental slope is called continental rise. Vast flat area, vast means big or large flat area on the deep ocean floor. The flat area down is called, yes, a basal plain. A deep valley in the ocean floor, the deep part of the ocean floor is called oceanic trench. A range or group of underwater mountains and valleys is called ridge, yes, oceanic ridge. Okay, so let's solve the next page, page 502. Draw a region of the ocean floor, label at least 3 features. We need to draw 3 things on the ocean floor. You can draw oceanic trench, volcanoes, mountains, ridge, as you like. So you can choose any 3 things from here. The most important part that when you draw the ocean floor, don't draw it flat, because as we said, some places are low like trenches, some they are high like ridges or mountains. Some they are flat. Question 3. Describe 3 problems of exploring the deep ocean that are solved by submersibles. How submersibles solve the problems? Which 3 problems the submersibles solve? Yes, the low temperature, because as we said, down is very cold. Water pressure, the pressure of the water, and darkness, because as we said, they have flashlight. Question 4. What protection can a diver's suit and gear provide? What protection this swimming suit can provide for, or diving suit can provide for the diver? What deep ocean problem cannot solve? This diving suit can solve some problems, but also cannot solve some problems. Let's see what kind of problems the suit can solve. The suit and gear protect the diver from cold and has light source. They can have light source, and also they protect him from cold. But this suit cannot protect a diver from water pressure, because this suit will not keep him safe from the water pressure. Question 5 was, why is the deep ocean cold and dark? Why, as we go down in the ocean, we find it cold and dark? Because sunlight cannot reach the deep water. So this was everything for today. In the next video we will explain lesson 2 about. Okay, so see you, take care of yourselves, bye bye.